Hello, I'm Professor Benavides, and I want to talk to you a little bit about how to submit your labs in COSC 1301 online. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and access your lab assignment. Let's go to the first one, and what you learn here applies to all of them. So to get to your first lab assignment, I'm going to open up the Unit 1 module, and here's our first lab assignment, Lab 1, Word. If you'll notice, your Lab 1 has 3 lab assignments, Lab 1, 2, and 3. And as I said here, what I go over right now applies to not only the ones in this unit, but all of them. So you'll click on your lab assignment. And in this lab assignment, you find out that maybe you ought to look at some of the ideas that are in this chapter before you start clicking away. I know a lot of people are not going to do it, but if the smart thing to do would be to go ahead and click on this module 1, creating and modifying a flyer and go over some of the concepts first of all. Then you're ready to go ahead and start working on your lab. Now, you will be using your digital subscription. Now, on your digital subscription, the numerated steps are in orange. If you end up getting the real physical books or going through vitalsource.com and getting, I believe, no, I'm not sure theirs is a digital or a PDF online. Well, anyway, if it's a real physical book, the steps will be in maroon circles. So the idea here is that you're going to be going through the steps that are in each module. Now, the steps will ask you to print, or if the steps ask you to print, do so that you can match up with the book. See, because that's how you're going to be graded. So what you do is going to look like figure 1.1. And I say, see the screenshot below. So let's look at the screenshot down below. This is what you're going to end up doing. So how do you get points off? Well, let me just tell you right off, like this little image here, if it's not that one, well, it's points off. It's left aligned or right aligned, it's points off. If you have instead of numbers here, if you have check marks for how in your bulleted list, then it's points off. So if you have purple instead of green, or if you have yellow instead of white text, then it's points off. So it's placed here for a reason. Okay, so in this particular module, you're going to be asked to create 2 documents, but you're only going to turn one in. One is sort of like, think of the first one as sort of like a prelude to your document. Now, this book likes to have really long document names, CS underscore WD underscore 1 underscore wash hands flyer. Let's see, that's what it's called. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is what you're gonna be turning in. Wash hands flyer format. If you want to just call it flyer, that's okay with me. Yeah, but don't call it kitty or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's gotta make sense. You know. So that's what you're going to be turning in. One file only. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But before I do that, let me just go ahead and make sure that you understand you've got to turn it in before the due date in order for you to go ahead and get full credit. After the due date, after 1 second, then it's 50 points off. So those are the 2 dates that you need to be aware of. And in this 16-week class, you've got a long time. The cutoff date is not until the very end of the semester, so I'm being really lenient there. Now remember that the highest grade that you can get is a 50 after the cutoff date. Okay, so you don't want to get like an 80 the first time and then resubmit. Yeah, you can resubmit. You'll be able to resubmit as long as it's open. But I'm not going to grade it. I'm not going to regrade it if I already graded it. That's for sure. And I will start grading right after the due date. So grading will start right after the due date. Now you can have multiple submissions, and that's important because sometimes people have approved reasons for submitting again. Okay, so what are you going to do to submit it? How are you going to submit this thing? Well, first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the submit assignment button. I'm going to show you where that is in just a minute, I promise. Then you're going to go ahead and browse your desktop and find your file, select it, and click OK. And then you're going to click on the Submit Assignment button. Once you do that, you're going to end up seeing at the top a resubmit assignment button, because you can then resubmit it through this if you've already submitted it once. And you should also notice some kind of success notice at the bottom, and I'll show you where that is. But this is what you're going to be working on. It's really simple. You're going to create some bulleted lists. You're going to import a file, an image, and where are you going to get this image? Well, it's got to be exactly that image. If your lab assignment is going to require files, I'm going to attach them here. You don't have to go online or go to the publisher or anything like that. If you'll see right here, it says required data file. Now this is going to be a compressed file. I believe I put it in a folder. So let me go ahead and just click on it. Now what you experience here is going to be different depending upon what kind of browser you have. I'm on Edge right now. I know I shouldn't be using Edge. They say, use Firefox with Canvas and Cengage Unlimited, but I'm living dangerously. So let me go ahead and click on this link here. And it says open or save. Now I'm going to click on open. And what I'm going to do here, I put the file in a folder, is I can click on extract and extract it. But what I typically like to do is just drag it over to the desktop and drop it. And that way it can, I already have it there. It can go ahead and I can go ahead and access it. Okay. And the name of that folder is called Word Data Files Module 1. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on close this. And I'm going to show you where that is on here. I'm going to minimize the desktop. And I don't see it on here is because I have two screens. So let me just bring it in from the other screen. And there it is there. So whenever the book says they want you to import a file for this particular module, you're going to open up this folder and you're going to see the little file and you're going to go ahead and bring it in. Okay, so hopefully you saw that easy enough. So let's come back to our assignment here. So these are the steps, and I'd like to think that I've explained it fairly well, but let me go ahead and walk you through how you would submit your lab assignment. Now, remember, the first thing you're going to have to do is come here, find out what you got to do. You got to work on Word Module 1. Then you go to your digital subscription book, your Cengage Unlimited Mind Tap, and you're going to be reading online the book and working. Now, if you had dual screens, this would work out great. Like you could have the book on one screen, like and Word on the other. So what you're going to do is you're going to work through the book, work through all the enumerated steps in orange squares. When you finish, you're going to end up with this flyer. What you can call it flyer, or you can call it if you want to call it SC_WD, whatever, you can, So once you finish it, I recommend just storing the file right on your desktop so you can find it real easy. And then click on the Submit Assignment button up here at the top. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on Browse, the Browse button. And you're going to go ahead and go to your desktop and then look for your file. That's this one here. Don't get it confused with this other one here that it's asks you to create, the unformatted one. The one you're going to submit is called Wash Hands Flyer Formatted. Okay? Once you select it, then you click on OK, or Open, excuse me. And that puts it right in here. So the only thing you need to do now is click on the Submit Assignment button. When you do that, it submits it to me. Now, what you'll notice is if you scroll down, you should notice that you have a Resubmit button here at the top. See this? And this Submitted will either appear on the right-hand side or down below, depending upon the resolution of your monitor. Like if you've made the text really, really big, this stuff on the right-hand side, you will see it down below. Okay? So you see a little check mark submitted. That means you've submitted it right. Okay? So that is how you submit your lab. Now, if you find out that that you want to, you've done something wrong and you want to resubmit it, well, you really can't. You can do that so long as you do it before the due date. Because I am not gonna grade anything until after the due date, and I will always grade the last one. So if you have multiple submissions before the due date, I will grade the last one. You'll be on the 100-point scale. But as soon as you go past the due date, you're going to be in a 50-point scale. So you really don't want to be doing resubmissions unless you really messed it up. Okay. So that is how you go ahead and submit a lab assignment. You can go to grades then and check your grades. If you get something wrong, there'll be a little icon next to it where you can go ahead and read about what you did wrong. Okay, now what we did here, it's the same for all of them. So let's go back to modules. Let's go ahead. Module 1, you have 3 labs. Module 2, you've got 3 labs. Again, these would be for PowerPoint. Just click on the lab, find out what you got to do. In this case, you're working on PowerPoint Module 1. So your book has Word Module 1, 2, and 3, and then PowerPoint Module 1, 2, and 3, and then Excel Module 1, 2, and 3, and then Access Module 1, 2, and 3. That's 12 labs. That's 12 files that you're going to be submitting for your 40%, of your grade. Same idea here. You'll notice that you'll have a little folder a zipped file that you're going to want to go ahead and download and unzip and put it on your desktop or wherever you want to put it. Whenever the book asks you to insert an image or a data file or a database or an Excel file, whatever the situation is that they want you to import, you'll go ahead and look in that folder for that particular lab assignment. Then once you have your files ready, you just work through the book. Give yourself around 9 hours per lab assignment. Yep, I said 9 hours. And then when you're finished, come back here and just do the same old steps again. Submit, browse, select, open, and then click on the Submit Assignment button. You'll get the little check mark, and you'll see the Resubmit Assignment button on the upper right-hand side, hopefully. And that's how you do your labs. That's how you submit your labs. As far as doing the labs are concerned, remember, you're going to go ahead and need to work through your book. So going to modules, remember, if you haven't done so, inside of Unit 0, you have this section here called Access Your Cengage Digital Resources here. Now, if you bought your books through, and I keep saying books because it's a digital subscription, if you bought your materials, through the bookstore, you can do that. You can click on this link here and buy them through here. And then from then on, you can just go ahead and click on MindTap, and it'll take you directly to where your book is, and you can drill down on the chapters. If to register, go ahead and watch this MindTap registration video. If you have problems, contact the technical support, Cengage technical support. When things are going fine, you should be able to go ahead and go through either one of these to get to your materials. Like, say, for example, here, I'm going to click on Load the MindTap books in a new page. And this will take you to this interface where you can drill down on the material. Now, you can see here, I haven't set up an account. Okay? So you'll have to create, this is the part that you'll have to go ahead and create. Once you've got this down, you'll be able to see the books. Now, I realize that they have a 14-day trial. You can do that if you want, but don't forget to pay. You're going to have to pay, so might as well just pay right away. Get your account done. How do you do this? Is watch the video on how to register for the books, how to create your account, so that you can gain access to it. But other than that, that's how you submit your labs. It's the doing part that's going to take a lot of time to be upfront with you about it. If you have problems with your labs, you can send me a message by going to the global navigational bar, clicking on the Canvas inbox. You can also go ahead and ask questions to your fellow students and maybe answer questions. If you already know how to do Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access or whatever, you may want to go ahead and go to this Unit 1 help board, where each unit has a separate help board. So click on this help board thing here, and if you have a question about the exam, the discussions, the labs, you can go ahead and post them here. Click on reply and post your question or reply to other people's questions. You can get extra points here. Now they have to be meaningful. I'm just not going to be giving away points for no reason at all. But here you can see you can get up to 4 bonus points on your first exam. And I'm going to do the same thing for Unit 2. Yeah, 4 more bonus points for exam 2, right? Outrageous, right? And then 4 more bonus points for exam 3, 4 more bonus points for exam 4. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's optional, so I'm looking for substance here. So one neat thing that I like about these boards here is that I will be ranking them, or I won't be doing it. Canvas will sort them by likes. In other words, you're going to be able to like people's postings, and it'll be apparent as to how you go ahead and do that. And you're going to be able to go ahead and like other people's postings, and these postings are going to then be sorted by likes. So I think that's going to be fun. I'll look forward to seeing how you interact with that. Okay, so you can send me a message. You can go to the help board. You can also go ahead and contact Vera Hensley. Her email address is in the course orientation document at the very end. She's in the Spring Creek campus. She's our office tutor. She tutors people on a one-on-one basis. Okay? So that, my friends, is how you submit your lab assignments. Thank you very much.